So it's like the Falcons. We made fun of them a couple years ago. We didn't know what they was doing when they decided to pass on Lamar Jackson because they had I think what was they number one in the salary cap, I believe, back then.
They were. Yeah.
So they're finally making use of it, and now they actually in a position where not only can they compete now, but if they don't get it done, they still have Michael Penix on the bench. He can learn from Kirk Cousins, get the full year or two, or however many years he might need to be the starter, and then they can go forward from there and still be very competitive. But they set themselves up, for a very long time. So shout out to the Atlanta Falcons. For once, I can say that they're not going to Falcon, So hats off to them.
Let's look at the NFC South. Last season, 9-8, pretty much got the division for the Buccaneers, who won it for the second straight season with Baker Mayfield. Saints were 9-8, Falcons 7-10, the Carolina Panthers 2-15 with Bryce Young. Raheem Morris, the new coach in Atlanta, by the way, so a brother down in the ATL. Can't forget that. So we do want to see him do well. Raj, how do you see this division playing out? Looks like it's one of those divisions. You win 9 games, you really can pretty much win a division.
Well, honestly, I think it's a 2-team race. It's between the Buccaneers and the Falcons. Now, granted, the Saints still got some pieces. They still got Mr. Carr and who was running back? I can't think of his
Alvin
name.
Kamara punching people.
Kamara, but he's on the downside right now.
They got Jamal Williams from Detroit too, running back.
Yeah, they got Jamal Williams, but I just don't.
No receivers though.
I don't think that. Yeah, boy, they got Chris Olave. He's
Olave. Yeah,
Olave.
That's my guy.
He's nice. Don't get me wrong. He's a good receiver, but it's like they're the third team in this division. They're the third team in this division. I don't see them making the playoffs. I don't even think they're going to get 9 wins because they got 9 wins last year. I just don't see it. I think the Falcons are going to be fighting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for a playoff position or for the division in itself. Now, granted, the Buccaneers was not the greatest last year either, because you could see that the division last year was very extremely close. But I think the moves that the Falcons made so far, I think they're going to win a division, but I think the Buccaneers will be they'll be right behind them. They'll be right there because one, they got the experience from last year. Also, Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's figured out how to play great as a quarterback again, which is a good thing for him. He still has his weapons in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, so that always is a plus. That defense is not taking a step back either. And I believe they won a playoff game last year too. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles. So, and they almost won the other playoff game. So
against Detroit.
Yep, against Detroit. So they're gonna be in it. They're gonna be in it right with the right with the Falcons. But it's gonna be tough, man. But I got the Falcons coming out the NFC South with the Buccaneers. Maybe finding a way in the wild card. I'm not sure, but it's going to be tough between those two teams. Now, the Carolina Panthers, I mean, they might win a couple more games than they did last year, but they're still last in this division. I mean, hopefully the quarterback there, has another step because Bryce Young, because he was number 1 overall pick last year, but he's missing a lot, man. He's missing a lot. He really didn't have the weapons. Definitely didn't have the defense. Didn't have the coaching. Hopefully it turns around for them this year. Hopefully they get a little bit better, but they're going to take baby steps in that spot. So it's going to be either the Falcons or the Buccaneers, but I'm going with the Falcons.
Dre, I'm gonna let you go next, but Danny Canellis, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator who helped Baker Mayfield have a breakout season and get paid, is now the head coach for Carolina. So we'll see what he can do for Bryce Young, which I think will help and do wonders for him. Go ahead, Dre.
Man, the Panthers already talking about drafting a new quarterback. It's craziness. But like you said, Panthers, we know they going fishing already for the season even started. Same thing with the Saints, and I feel bad for my man Derek Carr because I thought they might have some potential, but they ain't going nowhere. The Buccaneers, I like Baker and what he's been able to do, but I just don't see anything um, with them propelling to build off of last season. I think that they'll kind of still be the same. It just seems like the Falcons are the team that made all the right moves right now to get them at least the division. So I'm a roll with the Falcons as well. Maybe the Bucks might make a somewhat of a push, but I just doubt if they'll get in. I think it's just one team coming out of the NFC South, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. They're predicting about 12 wins. I don't know about 12, maybe 10 to 11.
12.
Yeah, so they're saying out there that they could get 12.
I got to see the schedule. Because I mean, the South isn't good.
That's why I said I can see 10, but I can't see
12, I think 12.
But like y'all said, outside of San Francisco, who won 12 last year, you had LA with 10, but that was a surprise. They weren't expected to do it. I mean, it was Detroit and Dallas and Philly were the only other two teams with double-digit wins. So the NFC is you can make a case for just about any team to make the playoffs.
And you know what? Earlier I did say I said it was just a 2-team race. I did forget about the Detroit Lions. How can I forget about my boy?
About your boy biting kneecap.
Biting kneecap. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So the NFC, you can make a case for just about any team.
And that was a team that was real close. Had they just run the football, we talk about the Ravens run the football. Had the Detroit Lions ran the football, it probably could have been them right there in the Super Bowl.
Go ahead, Karante.
I think the Buccaneers, their edge is probably at coaching. That's probably the only edge that I'm giving the Buccaneers right now. But I think the Falcons are the favorite, not the clear favorite, but I think they're the slight favorite. Because again, Kirk Cousins is still the quarterback.
He'll at least get you to the playoffs.
Nah, okay. If he's healthy, it's more so not a Kirk Cousins. Let me not say it's not really a Kirk Cousins thing for me. It's Kirk Cousins coming off an injury at that age. He not coming off a regular injury. He coming off of Achilles. Achilles is the Achilles heel for all athletes. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you then: is this the same question that you have about Aaron Rodgers too?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Fair enough.
And again, the age and injury, because good guys don't recover how they used to. And also we gotta look at the offensive line. From you say Aaron Rodgers, so the Jets and the Falcons in this case. How good is the offensive lines for these two organizations? But I do think the Falcons are the favorite. The Panthers, they might get another game or two. Now, I don't see them going past 4 wins total. The Saints do still have pieces, but they're still trying to figure themselves out right now. I think they'll be competitive, but I do think it'll be the Panthers bring up the rear, the Saints at 3rd, Tampa Bay at 2, and the Falcons at 1 to win the division. And who's the coach down there in Atlanta?
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris. I know him from his days in DC. He's a really, really good guy. They rave about him. Like, they love Raheem Morris. Wherever he's gone, he's been.
And I think he was the defensive coordinator when the Rams won the Super Bowl. I think he was. So there you go.
He was
our second chance.
He was our secondary coach back in the day. But he's well loved wherever he goes, and he's gonna I think he'll get the most out of the Falcons. He is a defensive minded head coach, but I think he's bringing what DeMeco Ryans has brought to the Houston Texans. I feel like he can do that. And in Atlanta, woo! You want ATL ain't been on fire on the football side of the game in a while. So I think he'll bring some prominence back to ATL. But I do think they are the front runner right now to win the division.
Let's go to the AFC South. Kravant, I'll start with you real quick.
Yeah.
Last season, your Houston Texans with your boy CJ Stroud went 10-7.
That's
Jaguars just paid Trevor Lawrence 9-8. Colts, one game out of the playoffs. Let's not forget Anthony Richardson, their number one quarterback, did not play but 2 games last year. And the Titans with Will Levis, 6-11. Kravante, how do you see this playing out? Do you see it being pretty similar?
I'm gonna jump right into the middle. The Indianapolis Colts, brother, the good guy Richardson. I need to see a full. I need to see a full season. Because we saw the potential at Florida, and we see a little bit of the potential in the 3-4 games that he did play, but he didn't finish any of them due to injury. A lot of things have to change in order for Indianapolis Colts for their luck to change to turn around. Because they can be a dark horse. The Colts can be a dark horse in this division in this conference. But if Richardson is not healthy and not making better decisions on the football field, they are going to be right where they are, right where they were last year. The Titans broke off Ladarius Sneed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So they got a top tier corner. So they're trying to get the defense together. Will Levis, one thing about he gonna ball. He's gonna throw the football. Will it be to the right team? Well, that's yet to be determined. He's like a poor man's Josh Allen. That's what Will Levis is. So he could make boneheaded decisions from time to time. So yeah, that's absolutely a thing. Hopkins still down there?
I think he's hurt right now too.
Well, yeah.
And they also signed Tyler Boyd from Cincy and Treylon Burks they drafted a few years ago, by the way.
So he has a new receiving core. It's gonna take half a year to get things situated and get
Tony Pollard from Dallas, by the way, the new running back too. Taking over for King.
Not moving the needle at all.
Okay. All right. Just thought I'd put it out there.
With his new wide receiving core, it's gonna take half a season for them to get in sync for real. And unfortunately, they're probably going to be where they are, depending on how the Colts fare as far as injuries are concerned. But I kind of see the division shaping out how it is now. Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know, man. Like I said this before, Trevor Lawrence, we have to actually sit down and figure out, is he as advertised? We're 3 years. This is going to his 4th season. He has not. Things aren't shaking out how we thought they would. And granted, the first year, take it out, or Urban Liar, take that out. That season does not. That season should not count. But getting the Super Bowl winning head coach and Doug Peterson, you would think things would change and things were on an upswing for a little bit, but I don't know. I'm missing that signature win, and I guess he did beat the Ravens that one time, but I'm looking for that signature win and some consistency, because the Texans walked them down. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all saw it. The Texans walked. The Jacksonville Jaguars had a sizable, significant lead.
Had the number 1 seed at one point last year.
And had a significant lead on the division. Damn, they had a stranglehold. And the Texans walked them down. Absolutely walked them down. Now, in the Texans winning the games they supposed to win, the Jacksonville lost a couple of them games and allowed the Texans to come back and really snatch the division in the last week. So I think the Jaguars are probably gonna be right about there. And my guy CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud, they are doing it. I'm hoping. Excuse me. I think he's going to take the next step. I think he's going to take the next step, and the AFC should be put on notice because CJ Stroud is here, and he got another weapon. Now, is this weapon going to be good for his development and Stephon Diggs? I'm not sure. Great wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver, but he's a diva or Devo, whatever that is. But I don't want him to stunt CJ Stroud's growth because the places that this is Stephon Diggs' third city, third team. At some point, you gotta look at you, brother. At some point, you gotta look at you. And I'm hoping he does not come in and be a cancer. No, Dre, not that type of cancer, but a cancer.
I get you.
But a cancer and a toxic person in their locker room. And if he is not, because I mean, honestly, truthfully, he's probably gonna be there a year. I don't know if he's gonna be there past.
I don't think he got an extension on his deal. I think they just
and
traded him.
And Houston did that the right way. They absolutely did it the right way. Don't come over here stunting out young phenom at quarterback. Don't do that. So we'll see how it goes. But CJ Stroud, dare I say, best quarterback in the division.
Go ahead, Raj.
So yeah.
I'm gonna keep this nice and simple. I think the Houston Texans are the best team in that division. I think it's by a landslide. I think CJ Stroud, from what he did to the Jacksonville Jaguars last year, being a team that had no business even winning the division, to actually winning the division because of his play and what he did for that team around him. I just think they're going to continue to take off. Now, who's going to be the second? The second team in that division that's going to win? Probably the Indianapolis Colts. I like their defense. I think Anthony Richardson. I mean, he doesn't have to be the greatest quarterback. Gardner Minshew surely wasn't, but I think that I think Anthony Richardson is going to be a pretty good quarterback, even if he, as long as he stays healthy. But if he doesn't, they got Joe Flacco. We know what Joe Flacco can do.
Here you go with the flu.
Hey. We know what Joe Flacco can do. They have significant weapons over there. And Flacco likes to fling the football. So I think he'll definitely be able to do that. Stop it.
Go Google it.
But as far as the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think they take another step back. Trevor Lawrence, they gave him that big money contract. I don't know why. Fabio is going backwards. Doesn't have as many weapons as he used to have. And that defense is a little shaky. As far in the Tennessee Titans, I do like what they did with their weaponry, but I'm not sure about Will Levis. I'm not sure about their running back situation either, since Derrick Henry is gone. And I think they got a new head coach, I believe, too, right?
Yes, Bill Callahan from the Bengals.
Yeah.
Brian Callahan from the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling
offensive
that.
coordinator.
Not really feeling that. So I think they'll be fighting for third or fourth in that division. I think it's the Texans to lose, honestly, because they have everything going for them. And I do not think that Stephon Diggs is going to be a hindrance to CJ Stroud. I think he's going to feed off of CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud is going to be an MVP candidate. You can book that right now. But go ahead, Dre.
All right, I'm not going to take up too much time. I agree with everybody. I think that the Texans, they're going to be a candidate for the possible AFC championship. It might be Ravens versus the Texans in a playoff rematch. We'll see what happens down the road. But I think 3 teams are coming out of that division. I think the Texans, Jaguars, and the Colts. I know usually we say our division, but I think that this year it's going to be 3 teams coming out of that division, being that they're all healthy. I think all 3 teams, because I believe in Anthony Richardson. I believe that the Jaguars will bounce back, and the Texans are just going to build off what they did last year. I don't see a drop off with CJ Stroud.
Let us know in the comment section who do you have winning the NFC and AFC South. Kind of all in agreement there. But I do agree with you, Dre and Raj. I think the Colts could be a sneaky wild card team. They were one game out of it last year, so we'll see what happens with that. Go
And
ahead,
Byron, real quick, I was going to say, I just want to add to what you're saying. You said that about the Colts. Remember, they were right there with the Browns about losing a quarterback, but like you said, they were real close, even without a quarterback. So that shows good head coaching and good still quarterback play. What Nitro was saying earlier, where it's still moving even with their main quarterback being down.
And I think the Colts have a really good roster outside of quarterback. And if Richardson can play like he's supposed to, might have something, especially Steichen out of Philly. Dre, the WNBA is back. We will be remiss not to talk about it real quick. Angel Reese, another double-double. Caitlin Clark is on another level. The Aces get dominated by the Liberty again. The playoffs are quickly approaching. Yeah. And how you feeling about the WNBA? It's back from the Olympic hiatus.
I'm happy. I mean, it just seems odd that it's just been that long without WNBA basketball, but I'm happy that it's a continuation. The Liberty kind of scares you though, because you know a lot of people were saying about the Aces. We were talking about who has the better chance to three-peat. Would it be the Aces? Would it be the Chiefs? And I do forget the other teams that we did put in that mix about three-peating, but I don't know. Right now, the Liberty just seem like they're on a mission right now. And sometimes when you've been a champion, you get contentment. And I'm not saying that with Asia Wilson, but I'm saying that with the rest of the squad. That sometimes it can be hard to rev yourself back up for another championship run. But we'll see what happens when playoff time comes around. But I'm always rooting for my girl Asia. But right now, the Liberty just seem to still be the team of destiny this year right now.
And quietly, the Minnesota Lynx, I think, are 18-8.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. They are quietly as good as anybody. Cravant, I did want to shout them out because I did see they won the other night. Miss Collier doing her thing. So the Minnesota Lynx are up there with the Aces and the Liberty as one of those teams. How you feeling about the second half of the WNBA season, Cravante?
I think the Liberty have gotten overshadowed, and rightfully so, because the Aces did win back-to-back championships. But I thought the Liberty were always a formidable opponent, and I think they're slowly proving it. Going into the playoffs this year, the Aces don't look as good as they've done the past couple years, and the Liberty look like how we imagine the Aces look. Well, I guess this is how the Aces look after their first championship. The Liberty look damn good. Shout out to the Fever. The Fever are in a playoff position right now. I believe if the playoffs if the playoffs were to start, I believe the Fever would be included in that in the tournament. So that's good. Shout out to the Lynx. Byron, you were talking about them. They came. I don't want to say they came out of nowhere, but I thought it would be the Aces at the top of the Western Conference. But Stewie and the Liberty, they, like Dre said, they are on a mission. And they look like the best team right now. 4 losses all year is
sick, man.
Nothing to sneeze at. And please just keep going past that team with the DC next to it. Jesus Christ.
Hey, look, they've gotten better though. Better than what they were, because it didn't look good early on. I mean,
come on now, say it with me. Everybody beats the wind.
I'm sorry. Too soon. I'm sorry.
I guess it fits. It still fits. Just mystics.
Check
this out. The Liberty has less. The Liberty has 4 losses and the Mystics only have 6 wins. Crazy.
Yeah. I'll just say this.
Go ahead, Raj.
I just wish Caitlin Clark was part of the Olympics. I mean, from where she started at in the beginning of the season to where she is now is light years ahead of everybody else, man, including Angel Reese. And I love Angel Reese, but Caitlin Clark, man, is doing the thing right now. I watched another game of hers last night where she almost, I think, had a triple-double. I think she broke another record, I believe. So, yeah, man, she's amazing to watch, man. And that team has gotten a lot better. That 13 and 15. By the time the season's over with, they might be over 500. So,
man, they are right now, like you said, Caitlin, she's on a different level. I think Angel Reese is right there. I think their games are just different, though. But Angel, you can't discount what she's been doing.
Oh, of course not. You can't discount
it. Right now. I think it's just a rookie year, and I think that they should have both been on the Olympic team. It's crazy because viewership for everybody either went up or was consistent, except for women's basketball. And I think that they just missed a mark not having Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese when you know that this is their must-see TV. And I think that I don't know what the Olympic team was thinking, but you could have had both of those women in there because it's not going to be the same 4 years from now. Sometimes you got to just do something while the lightning is striking. As we've seen, with the WWE a few times, being Daniel Bryan or Cody Rhodes, sometimes you just got to go with the hot hand, even though this is who you want to go with. You got to go sometimes with what the people want.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Dre. And what the people want now, Cravante, is to get goofy. And that's time for Cravante's Goofies of the Week. Should be another good one.
Oh, gosh. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy. Stupid. Just stupid. Jam. Oh, jam.
It's been so much goofiness that's been going on, and there's been some goofiness that I'm not going to talk about on air. We'll talk about it offline. So I'll leave one of them alone because I had to, but I was like, I'm not going to talk about it. But there is one that I do want to talk about. But let me not be rude. Welcome to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy this week. And
just this.
Byron, I don't know if you had a better picture of the goofy that I sent to the group.
But, yes, I'm working on that now.
Oh, yeah. So the Olympics was star-studded. The USA looked great. Won more medals than anybody. And Snoop Dogg was out there, like I said, star-studded. Folks was out there supporting, having a good time. A former quarterback of mine from way back in the day, and by back in the day I mean like maybe about 12 years ago. We drafted a former Heisman Trophy winner and former number 2 overall pick, and Robert Griffin III. He was out in Paris having a lovely time with his family, and we found out that Robert RG3 will not be, well, I guess they decided not to pick up his contract or extend his contract with ESPN. So he's pretty much out in the streets right now. Oh boy. And I think this may be why. Because it's so strange. It's so strange because right after this, and you know, it's cut because this croissant that he's about to devour is much bigger, and his I believe his wife is on the other end of it. And it looked wild. It looked wild as a wide shot, but it looks even crazier when we zoom in a little bit because he's really attacking this. He's really attacking this bread. Like how the brother the guys the new how the kids say devouring like a glizzy. And for those of y'all that don't know and are in my age group, glizzy is a hot dog. So he looks like he's about to devour it like he would a hot dog or glizzy, and that is the full view. It looks like he's more into it than she is.
Finish him, Daddy.
Oh boy. He looks like he's into it just a wee bit more than she is. She looks a little bit more reserved, and RG3 is just going all the way in, all the way turned up. You understand? And yeah, no, with no human, with no regard for human life. That's what it is. I think that's the guy. I think that's a line that y'all may like. I heard it doing wrestling. It's one of the funnier lines that I like because he literally looked like he has no regard for human life with that abnormally large piece of bread. Croissants are great and delicious. I didn't know they come in that size, and it looks like RG3 was excited that it came in that size, huh? And yeah, he looked. Oh man. Oh no, definitely bread. Definitely bread. It's definitely bread. It's definitely bread in there. But RG3, you look crazy, brother. You look wild right now, and I ain't gonna hold you, bro. This might be why ESPN got you let you go, brother, because you're too much. You're entirely too much. You didn't have no regard for human life. You had no regards for what was going on around you. You didn't have no regard for how it made you look as a representative of ESPN, and I think ESPN was like, honestly, he probably gave them this reason. Gave him this very, very small reason to let you go. At least it wasn't a big piece. Thanks, Raj. Thanks, Raj. It wasn't quite that. Oh my gosh, there's more. And he looked at that and said, "Yeah, I already know what I'm gonna do." Oh yeah, yep. Oh snap! That's how you get down, bro. Oh boy.
Oh. I'm about to go rob something.
Huh.
Y'all know me. I'm dangerous.
Huh. This is new. This is absolutely new to me. And this is yeah, RG3. So he's definitely on the risque side of things. RG3, brother. I'm not saying there's other companies out there that I'm sure will be willing to give you an opportunity, but I think ESPN said they were done after seeing you devour that that croissant. You look wild. I ain't gonna hold you, brother. You look wild. You look real wild out there in the streets and in the Paris streets. Embarrassing Americans, embarrassing the USA because you're doing a lot. Oh man, they didn't zoom in. Like I said, you knew what you was doing. You knew what you wanted.
One big
son of a bitch!
You knew what you was doing. You knew what you wanted. Now, your lady on the other end looked a little bit more reserved, but you knew you was going to dive in, and you didn't care how it looked, which is probably part of the problem. I'm going to leave it. RG3, bro, and before I end, he's been doing a lot of wild stuff as of late on like TikTok, Instagram, and all that. And this still picture is one of the worst of them. Absolutely one of the worst of them. But that's my lone goofy of the week. Y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great. And RG3 is on the wrong end of it. And they went all the way across the pond to do that mess. You got to do better.
Oh, gosh. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy. Stupid. Just stupid. Jam. Oh, Jam.
Thank you for that goofy of the week, Cravante.
What's wrong with him, yo?
He likes big things in his mouth, I guess.
Ah, damn it. End the show now, Byron. End it now.
Man, what a show. Episode 454 in the books. Dre, we're approaching episode